What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledParents. Alrighty, this story that I've been admittedly kind of excited about reading is Entitled Mom Pisses Off Goat. I'm a happily single 39-year-old male. I live in a nice neighborhood just outside of town. My neighborhood is a single street with about 2 acres per household. I still look like I'm 18 if I shave. Baby goats are called kids. A little background for you. These are the players. Entitled Mom or Kid Thief? Me. Deputy. Cool neighbors, I don't know how many there are. Sheriff. 2 weeks ago, my goats had 2 kids. I don't know if you've ever seen baby goats in person, but they are adorable. My male goat, Bruce, is an Arabian goat, and the female, Lily, is a fainting goat. They had a male and a female. The male is Sir Flopsalot, and the female is Esmeralda. If I knew how to post pictures, I would. I obviously love my animals. They actually did post pictures in the bottom if you want to go check it out. My neighbors love my animals as well. They feed my dog leftover steak any chance they see him outside. Their daughter visits the goats every day and has been so excited for the 2 new baby goats, she named them. Yesterday was like any normal Sunday. I usually take my dog for a car ride and then we walk in a local park for an hour or so. My cell phone rang and it was my cool neighbors alerting me to a random minivan sitting in my driveway by the garage. I live in eastern Tennessee. Minivans are not too popular. My neighbors were just letting me know that someone was sitting in my driveway. I wasn't expecting anyone and I don't know anyone with a minivan, so I told them that I didn't know anyone with a minivan and that I would be on my way back. I was about 30 minutes away. They rang back and said some lady got out and ran down to where I have my goat pen. I have my goat pen split at the moment to separate Bruce from the kids and Lily. Male goats sometimes play too rough with their kids out of jealousy. When I arrived home and pulled down into my driveway, I was met by Bruce standing on the hood of a beat-up looking minivan. Also, the sheriff and some police from the town were in my upper driveway parking area talking with some fat lady. I parked in my driveway behind the minivan and asked Bruce what he was doing out. Obviously, he didn't answer, but the fat lady came running over screaming at me that she was going to sue my parents and I needed to get them there right away. The sheriff and police officers were right on her heels and caught her before she made it to me. This may not be verbatim, but it's what I recall. You are in so much trouble. That goat attacked me. Then it destroyed my minivan. Get your parents here this instance. What the hell are you doing on my property?
Sir, is this your goat?
Yes, that's Bruce.
This lady claims it attacked her in her car when she pulled into the driveway to turn around.
My neighbors came out when they heard the commotion.
She didn't pull in to turn around. She went down to the goat pen. We have it on video.
I'll need to see that video.
If she did go down to the pen, I'll also have it on video from the pen and from the house. Fat lady was sweating and starting to back up like she was gonna make a break for it. Backed right up into the deputy. The look on her face was of absolute horror.
Could you put your goat away?
No problem, give me a few minutes and I'll get the video recording for the pen while I'm down there. I put Bruce away and noticed that he had destroyed the fencing right by the gate to his side. I also noticed that the gate to the kid's side was unchained and Esmeralda was missing. I grabbed the SD card and ran up the hill screaming that I'm missing a baby goat.
Where's my baby goat, you dog-faced bench?
How dare you talk to me like that?
Ma'am, if you know, now's the time to tell.
I don't know what you're talking about. Look at my van, it's ruined. I'll need an ambulance after what that gosh done, not what she said, goat did to me. Bruce got out again and came charging back up the hill and climbed back on the hood of the van, screaming his head off. It dawned on me that maybe she put Esmeralda in her van, but the officers were quicker.
Ma'am, open your van. Sir, control your goat.
I'll try, but his fencing looks like he beat it all up in anger. I put my dog's harness on him and clipped him to the dog run. She kept giving excuses why she won't open her van, but we all knew the real reason. She opened her van finally, and the stench just rolled out of it. Oh my god, what is that smell?
Scared baby goat crap, dumbass. You're lucky there are cops here.
Your goats ruined my new van. You'll be hearing from my lawyer.
You'll get to speak to him after we get you back to the station. Cuff her.
I took Esmeralda back and checked to see if she was hurt. She wasn't, just scared. My neighbor's daughter carried her back down to the pen and I grabbed another panel to fix where Bruce broke out. The deputy took the crazy lady away. The sheriff and my cool neighbors came in to watch the security footage. Apparently, she snagged Esmeralda and was coming back for Sir Flopsalot when Bruce broke out. You could see her turn around and start waddling up the hill and Bruce charging right for her. She got nailed right in the hips. He got her again in the shoulder as she got up. She shoved Bruce down and tried to get into her van, but Bruce rammed her driver's side door. He then jumped/climbed on her hood and was tap dancing his anger out. We replayed her getting nailed in the hip many times. The sheriff was laughing. We were all laughing. Okay, that was a really funny story. Oh, that was a good one. I really liked that one. I give it the coveted rating of plus ultra. That's so stupid, but that's such a good story. They also said that they'll release the video once the sheriff gives it back. So yeah, check it out if you're interested, because I am. This story is called Father Tries to Shrug Off My Broken Ankle Because Him Going Home and Sleeping Is More Important Than the Damage to My Leg. Not sure if this fully fits here, but I'd say it's entitled to some extent, but more just horrible parenting. Obligatory on my phone. Cast. Me, at the time around 10 years old. Mom, my mother. Big sis. Would've put BS, but that wouldn't go down well. And there's a bunch of other voices that I'm not gonna do right now because it's kinda hard to keep track of it. I'll just make up one as I get to them. Backstory. To set the scene, super entitled father and my mom had recently split up. Well, he was kicked out of the house for reasons that's another story. Every Sunday in winter, my sister and I would play netball for our schools. In Australia, where I live, it tends to get quite rainy, but that doesn't stop us from going out and playing netball. Super entitled father on this day was trying to make half an effort to see my sister and I, so he came to the netball courts to watch us play. The netball courts had a canteen, basically a food vendor, at the side for players, parents, etc. to buy food and drink. But to get to it, you have to walk up a brick slope, which, might I add, has no grip whatsoever, especially when wet. Super entitled father was a huge baby throughout this whole experience because he apparently had a cold and wanted to go home, despite him being the one to make the decision to come here in the first place. Story time! So this Saturday was particularly rainy, parents standing under cover, girls constantly wiping themselves down with towels during the quarter and half times, etc. I had been tripped by a teammate on accident while playing my game, slipping and hitting the slippery court, right arm first, bruising it badly, but at the time everyone was convinced it was broken. We had one more quarter to go and I was bawling my eyes out because of the pain, begging to be able to sit out and let the sub in. My mom looks at me with an apologetic look and tells me I have to go back on and play if the team is to be full on court because the sub refused to go on because she had a cold. I went back on and played the last 15 minutes, then went back to my mom and sister. My mom dried me off carefully and put super entitled father's jacket over me, my sister helping me thread my arms through the baggy armholes. My friend at the time, who happened to be on my netball team, was sitting and talking with my sister and I as she had walked back with us as she usually does before my sister's game. As I cooled down from running around, I get cold and ask my mom if I can have some money to buy a hot chocolate from the canteen. She caves and hands me some change, and myself and my two companions, friend and my sister, are on our way. Friend is talking with sister and have walked a bit in front of me, so I quicken my pace to match theirs, only to slip and hit my ankle directly onto the brick slope as I rolled it. I land back onto my bruised arm and start crying again like the little baby I was. Trying my hardest to find some grip, I tried to roll over to my left side and push my body up so I could stand, only to fall back down again like a sad tortoise on its back while parents and kids just kinda stared. My sister starts freaking out, which is reasonable, but friend just stands there looking unamused and telling me to get up. I'm trying! A man sees me flopping and whining on the ground like a dying seal and offers me a hand, which I gladly accept. Sister thanks him profusely before helping me back down to our mom. I sit for a bit while my mom calls super entitled father and asks him to get over here and take me to the hospital because she was now convinced I had 2 broken bones in the span of 20 minutes. Super entitled father tells us to meet him in the car park because he decided it was too rainy and he'd sit in his car and wait. My mom, wanting to watch my sister's game as well, agreed. We got to the car park, me wobbling most of the way. This conversation ensues. It was a while ago, so not exact, but same points. Take OP to the hospital. I need to stay for sister's game. She needs someone there.
It's probably nothing. She's just bruised. I'll take her home to rest.
No, you can't be too careful. She's in pain. Go to the hospital.
Look, Mom's name, I feel really sick and need rest. I'll take her home and we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Mom, clearly getting more enraged by the second. Fine, I'll take OP. You can watch sister's game. I want to be with my sister. She's hurt. Are you sure? You'll miss your game.
name? I don't care. I want to be with OP.
The conversation ends and my mom drives my sister and I to the hospital. Super entitled father close behind. The parking is packed, so we park about 100 meters away from the front. We walk the first few steps, but I can't walk very well on my own, so my mom asks if super entitled father can carry me as she physically couldn't at that point.
Oh, why? She can walk on her own. She's overreacting again.
Carry your daughter, super entitled father's name. She's injured and can't walk on her own.
If you just let me take her home, we wouldn't have this issue.
Fine, I'll carry her because you're too damn lazy.
Fine, I'll carry her.
We get to the waiting room and I describe the pain and injury to the staff and they seem more worried for my ankle. My mom is there helping me for the next 45 minutes while we're waiting to walk to the bathroom, etc., while sister saves us chairs. Where did super entitled father go, you might ask? Well, he stormed out muttering about how he needs to go home and how he is sick and whatnot, so he goes and stands in the rain. What a genius. I go in, get my leg checked out as well as my arm, and find out I've got a break on my growth plate and needed to be put in a cast for about 7 months with no pressure on that leg. I get a swelling cast put on because my ankle looked and felt like someone put a stale donut under my skin. I get the option to go out in a wheelchair to the car park, which I gladly jump at the opportunity because I low-key wanted super entitled father to see me and feel at least a twinge of guilt. We got out and super entitled father looked me in the eyes with the most "I don't give a fuck" expression and asked if we could go home yet. You bet my mom went off at him for potentially making the break bigger and more damaging. Oh yes, that's some quality parenting.
Oh yeah, you got a broken ankle, just walk it off. It'll be fine.
Idiot! This story's called Entitled Mom in a Popular Coffee Store. I've always had a long-time curiosity as to why Karens love Buckstar, not real name of coffee store. This is an anomaly that will never be solved, I guess. Backstory. I do online school and wearing a band sweatshirt from the high school I went to the year before, which is not in Pennsylvania, but Florida. This is important. My mom dropped me off at Buckstar for a little bit to get me out of the house because I'm inside all day. She gave me some money and told me to get stuff done. I get a drink and sit down to start my work. Now, mom did drop me off in the dreaded AM hours, so I guess it is understandable with the conclusion that plagued this species of Karen. Story, and I guess cast. There's entitled mother, me, a high schooler wanting to graduate. Entitled kid, crotch goblin, doesn't have a big role in the story. Employee, saint who knows me decently well. I just got my drink and I'm on my laptop doing school and listening to my EDM playlist. Entitled mom and entitled kid sit down at a nearby table. They seemed normal, but I felt the burn of entitled mom's eyes on me and I struggled to ignore it. Dear God, lady, staring is rude. I turn up my music a little bit to that glorious point where you can't hear the outside world. Because of this, I didn't hear entitled mother trying to get my attention. That is, until I felt her acrylic claws on my shoulder and she pulled me out of my seat to look her in her ugly face of the Carenius sapiens. Answer me when I talk to you! Why aren't you in school? Ma'am, I am doing school. Quiet! You are setting a bad example to my kid. She looks at my sweatshirt. Where's that school? I'll drive you there. She tried to drag me out the door without my stuff and I yanked my arm away. No, I won't go anywhere with you. But my mommy said go to school. She's not my mommy. But I am, you elder. You have to listen to me. No, I don't. Before you interrupted me, I was going to tell you that I do my school online. That's a lie. How do you know if it's a lie or not? You have a school on your jacket. I start to laugh. Stop laughing. Where's that school and I'll drive you there. An employee comes over because of this lady's yelling. What's going on here? This brat isn't in school. See? Her jacket has a school on it and she claims to be doing school online. This employee has seen me here quite a few times and knows that I do, in fact, do online school. Side note, if you took out the in fact, it would say do. Back to the story. She does. I've seen her here a few times doing math and research papers. We've talked a few times. No! See that sweatshirt? That is a high school sweatshirt and I'll be driving her there. Ma'am, this school, gestures to the logo, isn't around here. That's bull crap! I get on my computer and pull up a map with the route from our current location to the school on my sweatshirt, which is this far, and it's a 17-hour drive. The entitled mom's eyes go wide. That's a lie!
Ma'am, I'm gonna have to ask you to leave.
What? I'm a paying customer!
And so is OP, and you have been harassing her. Now leave or else I'm going to call police.
The entitled mom quickly grabbed entitled kid and left the store. The employee and I had a good laugh after she left. It was amazing, and I couldn't find the exact sweatshirt I was wearing because the marching band only sells them for a limited time during the year, and I can't post a pic of my sweatshirt because my phone is broken and my computer camera sucks. That's something Lois from Malcolm in the Middle would do. If you guys haven't seen Malcolm in the Middle, it's an amazing show. It's so funny. It's so funny. And it's got Bryan Cranston. But anyways, the whole, oh my god, I'm gonna take you to school. That's just like something Lois would do, except less crazy. But she was a caring mother, which is nice. Obviously, this is real life, so you can't really do stuff like that. But I think she was coming from a slightly good place, at least, maybe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.